This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody. Joe Castello here with Matt DiBenedetto, driver for the Wood Brothers, Matty D. First of all, I got to tell you, before we get started, several years ago, we on the WFO Radio podcast, like all our drivers retired. We're like, who are we going to root for? And we decided to just watch and see who fought for our attention. And we loved what you did. Like, I'm not necessarily a Ford guy, but you went out there and you earned fans. And I just want to commend you for reaching out beyond the cameras, having a personality, speaking your mind, doing some fun and funny stuff, and literally grinding your way to a solid job in the Cup Series. That's how it was done. Old school. You did it yourself. Congratulations on just being here.
Man, I appreciate it. Yeah, my journey to get here has been quite out of the ordinary, I would say, to say the least. But it makes you so appreciative of all your opportunities when you get there. I've definitely had to fight and grind to try and get to where I'm at. And it's been quite the uphill battle, but that's what makes you appreciate it. And I love what I do.
It's got to be possible. And you just sent a signal to millions of young drivers that, hey, man, I just got to keep going. And it can happen. I don't have to be related to someone, or I don't like all that Days of Thunder stuff. You can do it. It can happen.
Yeah, I feel like my path to getting here, on top of the hard work and dedicating our lives to it and the insane amount of sacrifice, all that, I laugh and say I'd have to write a book on it one day for people to even believe it, my story, and how many thousands of things had to line up perfectly on top of all the hard work and things. So I compare it to saying I won the lottery twice in a row. But getting to where I am, it's because I have had all the odds stacked against me. It's been a very, very tough sport. Racing is unlike many others. It takes a lot of money and sponsorship and things that I didn't have, that were, again, odds stacked against me. So I had to go just a very different career path, and man, got so lucky along the way, on top of, dedicating my life to it and knowing this is all I'm good at and all I want to do. So it makes you really appreciative when a lot of things happen outside your control to get me here too.
Well, you made all the right moves to this point, and we're proud of you and excited about it. But let's focus in on some of the things happening this season. The Daytona 500, that didn't go as planned, but it wasn't your fault. I saw you trying to fight your way through that lap 14 deal. The 43 is down in the grass, and I guess is trying to get out of the grass, turns hard right, ends up all the way up on the track, and right in front of you. That's it. Race over.
Yeah, I thought we had it missed. We were picking our way through there. It's funny because I was just about to come on the radio and tell my spotter, Doug Campbell, to bail out. I thought it was getting a little too racy for being that early, and we were a little stuck. Couldn't quite get up to the very front like we were wanting. We got close, but not where we needed. And then, sure enough, big crash happens. We get caught up in it, and that just happens. That can happen at Daytona 500. People were very antsy, racing too hard, too early. But that's part of it, and you can get caught up in people's mess. So it takes a lot of things lining up to have a good, successful race and to be there at the end. And just wasn't our day, unfortunately.
The bump drafting, it's been something that has happened forever, and we've gone through phases where it's been too aggressive. Maybe NASCAR tries to put the brakes on it, which doesn't really work, because then it's all of a sudden these judgment calls, which are not good. But we saw two major incidents at the front where the bump draft just didn't work out. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think since we've had this really high downforce package at the super speedways with the really tall spoilers, we have more horsepower. The runs are just really big. So when you get a run on somebody, it's just they're so drastic because you have that big bubble, that hole that we punch in the air with a really big spoiler and all that downforce. So the car behind, just gets such a huge run. That it makes the runs really big, it makes the pushes really big, and it gets super aggressive, and so that's where, and everyone's bunched right together. So I think that's where it makes the the crashes very big, and it happens a lot where it turns into a game of survival because it just does get so wild.
Yeah, unfortunate. I saw some people, I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot. You don't have to answer, but some people saying that Joey Logano was blocking too aggressively. I feel like, man, he's trying to win the Daytona 500. He's in the lead. What else are you supposed to do in that moment? You watched it. What did you think?
Yeah, no, it's like you said, I agree 100%. It's Daytona 500, man. White flag, Daytona 500. That's the great American race. I can't even explain how big that is. We will literally do anything, and I mean anything, to win the Daytona 500. So it's white flag. Can't place blame on anybody for any crash, any blocking, no matter who it is, because we are all desperate is the word to use. We are desperate to win that race, so we'll do anything. So that's just part of the nature of white flag at Daytona.
Well, exactly. All right, real quick, final Daytona thought, or excuse me, final oval track at Daytona thought. Michael McDowell, what a good kid. Known for, you do a Google search and it's like big Texas crash, but not anymore. And you were one of the first to reach out on Twitter. You're very active on Twitter and like give the guy some respect and love for, shocking the world.
Yeah, man, McD is such a good dude. He's a good friend of mine. I talk to him all the time. He's actually probably a go-to guy of mine for advice too, whether it be anything related to my career. He's been all around a long time. He's very experienced, smart, great driver. And that's amazing for Front Row Motorsports too, to get that win for Ford. But McDowell is one of the nicest, most down-to-earth, genuine people, great guys you could ever meet. And I mean that sincerely. And then from a competition side, it was no fluke, like Denny Hamlin tweeted and was 100% accurate. He couldn't have been more spot on, was that McDowell is always there when it counts at these super speedway races. He's really smart. He's a guy that you do want to work with. The front row cars are very competitive at those places too. They're very fast.
Yes.
So he 100% deserved it as much as anybody. There's a lot of things that go into winning one of those races. You have to survive. You have to be there at the end. You have to have some luck on your side. You name it. But it was no fluke that he won. He's been up there in a lot of those races and 100% deserved it. He's a very good plate racer and a good driver in general and makes the most of his equipment.
Love it. Love it. Now you're joining us here on WFO Radio podcast because the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead-Miami Speedway is in a couple of weeks and we're trying to get the energy going. We're based down here. Homestead is our home track. We'll talk to you about that in a second, but I do want your opinion on the road course action at Daytona and the addition of all these road courses. And I like Formula One. I like road course racing. I like stock car racing. And I really feel like that, and I've been saying this and I want your opinion, that road courses are now the new Bristol. All the energy that everybody loved at a Bristol back in the day, there'll be contact. There might be a fight, two guys fighting for the same space. That kind of went away at Bristol. We all know why. But on the road courses, you fight to get up front, and then all of a sudden someone knocks you out of the way. You lose 20 positions. You're angry. That energy, we saw it in the Busch Clash, seems to be on the road courses now. So I've coined the phrase, road courses are the new Bristol. What do you think?
That's not a bad way to put it. I think the more short tracks we can get on the schedule, the better. I think that's all drivers' preferences. Fans love it. So if I could choose most, it would be putting the most possible short tracks on the schedule. And then the road courses have always provided good racing. There's something about driving a big old heavy stock car around a road course and running into each other and bumping and moving each other out of the way, where it kind of has that same aspect of short track racing, where we do that at short tracks. Martinsville, we're laying the bumper, people moving them. You kind of do the same thing at the road courses. So they are actually, even though they're completely different, they're comparable, short tracks and road courses, because of that exact reason.
And the supply and the demand is obvious. There's something going on there. Like the road course racing has been exciting. And so you're going at it this weekend in Daytona, but let's look ahead to Homestead-Miami Speedway. 1.5 mile oval, but very unique compared to the rest of the 1.5 mile ovals. Like it's a giant Bristol, or is it a bigger Dover? Or, what do you say of the track, having been very successful in Vegas, but it's really not like Vegas? Or is it? Coming to Homestead, how do you prepare? New time of the season, new schedule, third race out. Talk about our home track here in Miami.
Yeah, Homestead is really its own animal. It's completely different to me than any of those places, than a Vegas or a Texas, or it's very slick, super worn out, and you can run different lanes all over the racetrack. So it's kind of its own place. I don't even really know what I'd compare it to, because it's its own challenge. So, but what I'm looking forward to as far as personally going there is in our program, us, the 21 team, Wood Brothers, we're We are really good on short tracks, really good on intermediates, and we have super fast, super speedway cars. And we lack the most at the road courses. We're missing something there. We're trying to work on those the most. So I'm actually personally looking forward to going to Homestead, because that gets us, that's our first mile and a half racetrack of the year, which we know, and then, got Vegas after that. We know that starts a good string of racetracks for us as a team, and where we thrive as far as from a competition side.
The Wood Brothers, driving for the legendary Wood Brothers, just thinking about like, man, I get to go to work here. How satisfying is that? How I know you want to get wins for them because of their legacy. It's got to be something that you carry with you all the time.
Oh man, yeah, driving for the Woods, they are literally family. When you drive for the Woods, you're a part of their family for life, and that makes you just so extra invested in their team. And I want that 100th win, not only for me but for the Woods. I want to be the one to get it for them so bad, and we're there as a team now. We built up a lot of momentum last year. We were rocking and rolling the last bit of the season. A lot of top tens competing for wins. It clicked. We finally clicked really well as a team. So personally, I want to get that 100th win, have a lot of success, a great year, and not only for myself personally, but for the Woods, because like I said, they are family, and I want to be the one to hopefully get that win for them.
Oh, I hope you are. And, making the playoffs, great run, like all of that. You're elevating the team, and you're doing a great job. All right, before we let you go, a couple of personal questions. First of all, self-described California car guy. And I work for the National Hot Rod Association when I'm not doing WFO Radio. Love drag racing. Always like to ask. I'm sure you saw Tony Stewart's video recently. He's, learning to drive a drag car, Frank Hawley's, etc. What is the connection with any drag racing in your background? Do you have any? Have you seen a race? What as a car guy, drag racing is in the universe. What do you know about drag racing? Have you done any?
Yeah, so I've been to the four wide nationals at ZMAX Dragway, which is obviously incredible. I've over the years even just gone to test and tune days with my friends that drag race their cars. I've taken my personal cars out there just for fun. I'm just a car guy in general. I love it. I've had a car passion my entire life for different street cars, classic cars, you name it. I love them all. I have a passion for a very wide array of cars. So I have a few, personal street cars myself, and I mod everything I have. They're not stock. I'm always, lowered, put on wheels, whether it's, build the motor, if it's an older car or whatever. I have just a big passion for that stuff.
And also, which I think is a great thing, animals. I noticed on your Twitter feed, the pinned tweet, you're doing cameos like so many people out there. So for our audience, if you want a cameo from Matty D about, whatever you got going on. But I think the fact that you're donating it to animal rescue sets it apart. It's not like you're, buying those wheels and tires you were just talking about with your cameo money. You're using it for animals, something good. And in a very challenging time right now, we got a pandemic going on. That's one of the charities that might maybe get kind of kicked to the back burner for some people. And you're going full frontal at it.
Yeah, I just don't want to ever see that take a back seat because of, and there's a lot of other things I'm passionate about that are going on in the world, like helping small businesses is a big thing of mine. We donated to the Barstool Fund. I don't feel like small businesses get the appreciation and entrepreneurs get the appreciation they deserve. So that's something I'm passionate about as well. But I don't want to see, we got our dog, Brian, best dog in the world, my very best friend from our local animal rescue, Hartman's Haven Dog Rescue, which is local to us. And we got him as a puppy, and he was found under an abandoned building with five of his brothers and sisters and the mom. So they rescued all of them, fostered them, found them all great homes. And I feel like, a lot of people may not give rescuing enough consideration sometimes if it, allows for their situation. And, we picked out Brian. There were a lot of different animals to choose from and even puppies. We wanted a puppy. And so we chose, and he was a great temperament. So we got to really choose him, and he came to us. So we take all that money we raised from those videos and just donate it directly to him because it's a great cause, great way to interact with fans, give some cool shout outs, and then be doing something really good cause at the same time.
Did you name him Brian because of Family Guy?
Yeah, we did. It was we love the show Family Guy, and Brian, he's our dog is a white colored male dog. So we're like, it fits perfect with the show. So we named him Brian, and I like human names for dogs.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like, hey, Mike, come here. That is great.
Yeah.
Matt, congratulations just to be here doing what you're doing. It's a lot of fun to watch someone like literally get in and do things the right way and make a career for themselves. So we are rooting for you on WFO Radio podcast, and to get the opportunity to speak with you here this morning. It has been great. Good luck, obviously, on the road course at Daytona. You know, keep improving those skills. I know that's one of your skills. You just got to get the program going. And then at Homestead, you'll have a great opportunity to go out there, get a top 5, maybe win the race. We'll be watching all season long. And if you ever get an opportunity to come back out, you know, as the things become normal to ZMAX, I'll come find you and we'll make sure you're on the starting line for some nitro cars and just have a great time post-pandemic. In the meantime, thanks for the entertainment. Thanks for what you do. And thanks for coming on WFO Radio podcast. I really appreciate it.
All right. That sounds good. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Way to go, Matt. That was awesome. Thank you very much. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. You know how it goes, but really appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Talk soon. Bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.
There he goes. Matt DiBenedetto with us here on WFO Radio. Sign on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. That is the audio podcast. You can watch our Facebook page, YouTube channel, WFO Radio TV. Subscribe, click the bell for more NHRA Drag Racing, NASCAR Motorsports interviews, and of course, the Ignition Show, WFO.
This is WFO Radio.